Hey friends, welcome to class today. We're going to look at how to solve some trig equations. I will give official number looking notes by the end of this video, but we'll do a couple things beforehand to talk about it. So if you're wondering should I be taking notes right now? You'll know when I want you to take notes because I'll have a piece of paper up and I'll be giving general notes. But the goal today, like I said, is solve trig equations. So we're going to be looking at equations like 2 times the sine of x minus 1 equals 0. Things like this. And what's going to be different about these from ones we saw earlier in the year is we're not going to need to use a graph to solve these. In fact, you're going to be expected to solve these without a calculator at all. And one thing that they'll all have in common is there will only be trig functions involved in the problems themselves. Now, when we actually go through solving one, you'll see a lot of familiar steps, and we're going to rely on a lot of familiar knowledge. But before we even launch into that, all the things that are going to happen, one thing I want you guys to understand and know is that these equations tend to have an infinite number of solutions that follow a very specific pattern. And to make that make more sense, we are going to look at the graphs for just a moment, just so you can see, yes, I get it. They're going to have infinite solutions, and it's going to follow this kind of a pattern. For the next part of the video, we're going to look specifically at this equation, 2 times the sine of x minus 1 equals 0. You know, if you think about this, we're trying to figure out what x values can I plug in so that when I take the sine of that x value and double it and subtract 1, I get 0 as an answer. That's the goal. But to try to visualize those solutions, I'm going to show you a graph of 2 sine of x minus 1, and we'll talk about where that graph equals 0. So I'm going to start part 2 of this video in just a moment.